Hi, this is post-production Maya. Just kind of giving a brief little disclaimer. During the stream, we had a user who hopped on. It was just really transphobic. I know it's just a whole thing, and we just kind of rolled with it on the stream. But for the video version, I just went through and cut that all out. So there's going to be a weird little skip. You'll have to forgive us. Yeah, so without further ado, hope y'all enjoy the podcast.
Hello and welcome to Your Take is
Excrement. It's a podcast.
So who's gonna do? Cause like
I
already started.
All
right, it's fine.
I'm
You know what?
interrupting you.
Okay,
but
it's-
then
you know
now I
what,
don't know where to go from here.
Everybody's gonna be like, this podcast is a mess. I'm gonna click on Behind the Bastards again. Hello everybody and welcome to Your Take is Excrement. This is season 700 or whatever.
We've been doing this
for
5.
We've been doing this for goddamn years. at this point.
Goddamn years.
Yeah. So
An
as
eternity.
a reminder, I'm Mayleet, still
I'm Maya. Last name pending.
banging. We love to hear that.
We'll figure that out.
All right, great, good shit. Yo, so what's up? Today we are talking about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But first, don't we have advertisements that we need to?
Yes.
Go ahead,
I'm
knock out.
trying to figure out how everyone knew is Rocky Horror Picture Show because I don't think we've talked about that at all.
How what? What are you saying?
People are being like
I put it on the goddamn stream. By the way, for context, my friends, we stream this now,
Yeah.
so we do our
shit.
podcast live.
Okay. I was wondering how people knew because it's like
No,
I haven't said
I've been
anything.
putting the movie title in the stream, so that's
Okay.
how people know, and it's whatever, it's cool.
Yes. All right. So now that mystery solved,
Right,
we like
we have
to
to
give
do the thing.
a brief shout out to #iHunt. It's produced by Machine Age Productions. It's an RPG, and the Etsy store, Ambient Dream Studios. More on both of those later on in the podcast. I'd also just like to point everyone to our Patreon, patreon.com/excrement. If you want to support us, I swear that every cent that is put into that will be used nefariously with goblin-like energy.
I will be buying vape with it.
Yeah. I will, yes.
Okay, that's not true. I'll be paying our fucking car bills is what we'll be paying with it because your car broke down, my car broke down.
I mean, broke down is a weird way to say. I dead-ass just rear-ended a lady.
Well, because of the ice, right?
Yeah, but it's still my fault. Anyway,
Of course it's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, any rear ending is your fault.
Yeah.
But I did not, it was not my fault. I
No.
was driving through Utah on the way to LA
Well,
and
that's your
my
fault.
brakes went out. First off, fuck you, and
What?
second off, you don't know what it's like.
To drive
You don't
through
know
Utah?
you don't know what it's like to spend a night in Cedar City. Okay, you don't know what it's like to stay a whole night in Cedar City. I had to spend some time there, and let me tell you what's in Cedar City. And shout out to Cedar City, by the way. The
Utah.
tow truck driver was fucking awesome. If the tow truck driver is currently listening, what's up, my
What's
man?
up?
You're a goddamn saint. But everything else about Cedar City can blow me.
My tow truck driver was giving me shit for not having snow tires, and I was like, well, where do you want me to put my all-terrain tires? In my living room?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, you don't have a garage? It's like, no, the fuck I don't have a garage. What
I'm
am
a
I,
millennial.
bougie?
You think I've got
Yeah.
a fucking
You
garage?
think I have a house, motherfucker?
Yeah. Cool for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, my man.
It's
I
like,
hope
yeah.
being a tow truck driver is paying your bills.
Well,
'Cause
he-
podcasting ain't doing shit for me.
He was like, yeah, my kids don't have school, so I have to keep them distracted. So I'm making them like fucking clear off our driveway. And it's like a long, winding, like mansion-esque driveway, and I was like, motherfucker.
Wow, sounds like Elon Musk's asshole.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to build
no.
that cool castle in his casket.
Don't remember that dude's name, but shout out, thank you for taking me to my house with my broken car. But
The guy came over. The guy came over to pick up your car the other day, and that guy was super nice. He was like,
oh, was he?
"What's up? How can I want to help you? I
so
want
a
to
bit
pick
of a-
up your car."
Bit of a bummer with that.
Yeah.
Is I really needed some stuff out of the car that I was gonna
Um,
do, I was gonna get, and then it wasn't here when I got home.
I'm
But
so
it's
sorry
fine.
because today is Black Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody at home, what's up?
What's up?
Black Friday on my merch store. You can type in BLK Friday in one word and get 25% off any of my merch. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You can even buy my
hell
book
yeah.
on that shit.
Buy some merch. Do you have any T-shirts up there?
I do got t-shirts.
Get
I
some
got
fucking
t-shirts.
Do you still have those Transliberation T-shirts?
I have a couple.
Oh, ooh.
Running low.
Running low.
Well, people sure liked it.
What sizes do you have?
I think I've got smalls left for sure.
I'm gonna.
You
You
gonna
know,
cop one?
I'm gonna cop one
Fuck.
if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. You can cop one.
It's. Never mind.
No,
bad
you
joke.
should modify it. You
I-
should modify it. You should cut the neck out. You should cut the tummy out. You know, you cut the arms off,
Just.
and then it's like barely a shirt,
I,
but it's so spicy.
Yeah.
It's like a sexy shirt. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? You could do that. You could do that with my t-shirt. I decided to leave the sleeves on for the design because I thought that it would make the most sense for people to be able to modify it however they wish.
Mhm.
However, the concept of making a tank top has not been lost on me, and people have recommended it, and I am thinking about it.
I mean, everyone has scissors. Like any shirt.
Yeah, get creative. Come on.
Any shirt.
What are you
any
gonna
shirt's
do?
a
We're
crop top.
snowed in. You know, we got. What else the fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about a movie. Don't
about
you
a
agree?
movie. Yeah, let's talk about a movie.
Okay.
Let's talk about Rocky
Alright.
Horror Picture Show.
A rock hard picture show.
Yeah. I mean,
definitely
for
not
most of it.
porno. Okay, so just right off the top, I think that this movie is really truly everyone's favorite rape comedy.
So watching it this time, I was like, I think I have some takes that I haven't heard anyone else have about this movie.
Do you?
I do.
I have some too. I would love to hear yours first. So
Well,
please tell me, what is
so going into it, I don't know. I think given all that's happened to me this last year, I think the movie was a lot more impactful watching it this time.
Sure.
As it's a get the fuck up out of Denton and into like, living your own life movie.
Absolutely.
Which is something that happened to me. So
literally happens.
Literally,
in the movie. It
yeah.
happens in Denton, Texas, which
Yeah.
is the place we used to live, and
Yeah.
now we live here.
So there's that aspect.
Yeah.
The other aspect is like I don't know. I noticed the references to American Gothic the first time I watched it,
Lots of them.
but I really paid attention to the references to American Gothic, and I thought
This time.
that was really neat. And we'll be digging into those a bit deeper. I'm just kind of like shotgunning.
Oh
some,
no,
some,
I
like,
get
overviews of takes, and then also I thought Frankfurter kind of sucks.
you. I think that might be the bit.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But before we continue, I really want to say I've just noticed that fingers are really weird to have.
Wow,
Aren't they weird?
That schnapps be hidden.
No, have you looked at a finger recently?
I have looked at a finger.
They're
yes.
really strange.
Mhm.
I've been looking at my fingers, just being like, "What's wrong?" Anyway,
Anyway.
that's strange. No, okay. So, listen, you know me. I have the spiciest takes about everything on
Mhm.
planet Earth. It is my want in life. They are what I am known for.
Mhm.
So because of that, I am going to tease you and your little pussy about it
Well,
for a few minutes
okay.
while you tell the people at home what the fuck Rocky Horror Picture Show is about.
Oh, okay.
Which is a challenge
It-
because it's kind of
I
shit.
think I got it.
Okay.
Well, I
hit it.
don't remember any character names
Hit
because,
it.
of course, I don't. But it's about the
Brad, Janet,
Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter, Riff Raff, Magenta.
I do remember
Go.
Riff Raff because I like Riff Raff. Okay, so it's about Brad and Janet, who are a certifiably straight couple.
The straight ass.
The straightest. They're at a wedding. Then they leave the wedding to go visit their friend, the doctor. but they get lost and their car breaks down. So they go
Yes.
to try to phone for help, and they come across a mansion. They come into the mansion, and it's
Mansions do not have phones, by the way, asshole.
yes. And it is a giant like queer party going on. And the master of the mansion is Dr. Frankenfurter,
The hot dog doctor.
the yes. What did they say in the movie? The transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
Yes.
Yes. So
A sweet transvestite. Not sweet, but definitely a transvestite.
so they after the party, all proceed to go to the lab where you find
to
out.
see what's on the slab.
Yes, you find out Frankenfurter is trying to make
A
like,
blonde boy.
Well, they're trying to craft the perfect boy for Frankenfurter
To bone.
to bone.
Yes.
But this iteration of perfect boy toy
Thank you.
is a thank you for subscribing. Is a muscular blonde idiot.
Yes. Who is also straight.
Yes, who is also straight, and Frankenfurter is not happy. But
No.
while this is happening, another failed experiment to make a boy toy comes out, and he's like a cool meatloaf. He's a cool motorcycle idiot
With a saxophone.
with a saxophone.
Yes.
And then he gets pickaxed to death.
To death.
by
Yes.
Frankenfurter.
Eddie.
Eddie, I love Eddie.
I love Eddie. Eddie is my favorite character.
Eddie killed his Teddy. Would you believe it? Stabbed the Teddy in the back with a switchblade.
Makes you cry.
Makes you
Und I
cry.
did. Yes.
So then after that, I'm trying to remember the exact events. I think they all go to bed after that, right?
Yeah, and then the movie becomes the hottest rape comedy of the
They
year.
go to bed, and then Frankenfurter
which was
puts
quite a choice. Anyway.
Brad and what's her name again?
Janet.
Janet. That's right. Damn it.
Janet Weiss.
Damn it, Janet. So Frankenfurter
Planet. Schmanet. Janet.
goes and pretends to be either Brad or Janet, respectively, and has sex with both of them.
Sex is a fun way of putting that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
I
think
so-
everybody on Earth has talked about that.
So then it's at that point where the doctor shows up, right?
Oh, you mean Dr. Scott?
Yeah.
The not Nazi, but totally is a Nazi. Very Doctor Strangelove vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the reference
Yes,
now?
I do.
Yes. Okay.
He
Thank God.
shows up looking for Eddie. So then they have a feast. And then it turns out the feast they're eating is Eddie, and they have
Boom.
a whole song about it. Then people start to rebel against Dr. Frankenfurter.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. And then Dr. Frankenfurter turns them all into statues.
Makes them perform a very sexy show.
Yes. Well, so then Frankenfurter,
It's beyond me. Help me, mommy. Continue.
Frankenfurter puts them all in makeup and with feather boas and shit, unfreezes them, and now all the characters are very, very, very gay.
I'm just 7 hours old. My libido hasn't been controlled.
Yeah. And then they all kind of fuck about it for a minute.
Yes.
And then it turns out Riff Raff and Magenta, right?
Magenta.
Yes. Turns out the loyal servants of Frankenfurter are actually Reagan space cops
From
from
Planet Transsexual in the galaxy of Transylvania.
Yes.
Yes.
And they use an antimatter laser to gun down all of the gay people, and only Brad, Janet, and the doctor escape. And then they teleport the house back to Planet Transsexual.
And then the criminologist without a neck says something about how something spooky, blah, 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 credits.
Yeah.
I think that it is hysterical that the criminologist has no fucking neck.
No.
These are jokes. Okay, so right off the top, I want to point out that there are two Rocky Horrors. Well, actually, there's three, but there's two more significantly. There is the English version and the British version, which is the two, but the third is the live show. Very different energy.
Okay.
One must know that when they're talking about Rocky Horror, sometimes they're talking about the movie. And sometimes they're talking about the English performance of it, which is very good, very clean performance. Or they're talking about the American film adaptation, very different.
Mm-hmm.
Generally the same, but very different. Or they're talking about the live show, which is basically the most debaucherous, misogynistic, horrible night of your life, where you get drunk with your friends and then you think you're safe and everything's cool, and then they bring you up on stage and they make you make orgasm sounds in front of a crowd of people. Which is very fun and good for one's brain. So I would like to, off the top, just say I rented this movie from Blockbuster when I was a kid and I did not care about it. Then I had a friend take me to a live show and I realized not only was I gay, but it was the greatest thing in the world. And I went every fucking week. For 2 whole years, okay? And I even was in the show a couple times. Like,
Who'd you play?
I didn't play anybody. I was just like background, helped out kind of vibe. But because I've never really been a performer, I know that that's hilarious to you now. But no, I was always more of just like a helper. But I did love going, and the Shadowcast script lives forever in this mind. I am very familiar with standing in the back of a theater and screaming at this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first movie that I ever watched that I just screamed at the whole fucking time and realized that screaming at movies might actually be my vibe. So when people talk about Rocky Horror, they are very specifically talking about one of these experiences. And if you have an experience going to the theater and seeing it like that, your experience is drastically different than if you picked up a CD and listened to the British version, or you picked up a Blu-ray and you watched Rocky Horror Picture Show on Blu-ray. So because of that, there is this thing that they call a dissonance. People in the Rocky Horror Picture Show community are constantly debating whether or not the movie's good. It's like whether or not it's even good.
Right.
And a lot of that comes down to whether or not they went to that show and saw that shit, if they went with their friends and had the greatest night of their life, if they are gay, if they are straight, if they rented it at Blockbuster, if they bought the movie, if their parents showed it to them. There are a lot of variables here. Rocky Horror Picture Show for gay people is like Lord of the Rings. Okay? Like the experience you had, if you dressed up as Gandalf and went to Lord of the Rings, congratulations, you got as close in a straight way as you could have possibly gotten to the Rocky Horror experience. Your parents could have showed it to you and been like, yeah, Gollum, he's cool.
Yeah.
But so because of that, there's this context where people are like, you can be at home and be like, wow, this Frankenfurter guy seems like a fucking asshole. But then at the show, you see everybody in boas and they all are like, I'm a sweet transvestite. And you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
They love it.
Right.
So understand that we are not criticizing at any point, because I'm going to be pretty critical.
Right.
We are not criticizing your experience enjoying Rocky Horror Picture Show in a theater, because that is, in my opinion, because it affected me so much, a weirdly sacred gay rights moment.
Right.
So because of that, I can't be like, fuck that entirely.
Yeah.
I have to be like, that has value, because
Right.
it does have value.
Right.
However, the film itself is a messy piece of shit, and there's a lot of There's a lot that there's a lot to juggle with the movie, and the question in my mind comes down to whether or not Richard O'Brien intended Frankenfurter to actually be the villain of the movie, or if he's actually the hero of the movie, or if Reagan is the villain of the movie,
Right.
or if Reagan is actually the hero of the movie. I
And
don't fucking know.
So before we go any further, let us hammer out what the fuck are Frankenfurter's pronouns.
What the
'Cause
fuck are Frankenfurter's pronouns?
They use he him in the film, but I am
I am firmly on the he/him train.
yes.
I believe that Frankenfurter is a thing that we don't have anymore, but
Mhm.
it did exist for a while, called a transvestite,
Mhm.
as that is stated in the film, or a cross-dresser.
Right.
This is meant to be someone who has a penis, loves having a penis,
Yes.
doesn't want to change their identity whatsoever,
Mhm.
just likes putting on women's clothes and fucking people.
Mhm.
Which is a type of gay. I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with being that. But there is. So, okay, that's a joke. That's
Yeah.
a joke. You can be whatever you want. I'm not saying you can't. Don't
Wear what
dream
you
it.
want, do
Don't
what you
dream it.
want.
Be it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make Frankenfurter a good dude.
No.
I
Well,
think
yes.
Frankenfurter is a bad dude.
Yes, I think so. I think Frankenfurter is absolutely a villain, but I also
100%.
think that Riff Raff and Magenta are also villains.
I love Magenta, and I will hear
I-
nothing
okay.
other than that she is great.
I love Riff Raff. I spent an hour today playing Darktide, reading like deranged Warhammer 40k like fascism quotes in Riff Raff's voice. Like it's like
The master would hate to
Yes,
hear
like
this.
yes, like ignorance is the gift of the emperor.
I love the moment. My favorite moment in the movie is there's a moment where Riff Raff opens the door right at the beginning, and he's looking at Janet,
Yes.
and he goes, "You're wet."
Yes,
And I
yes!
love that.
I
But
love
there's
Riff
there's
Raff
there's
so
there's a
much.
fantastic callback moment
Isn't he
where
the director?
he is.
Yeah.
He also wrote the film. That's Richard O'Brien. Anyway, there is a hey, thank you for the donation. What's up?
Hey.
So when we're in the right, it's the match cut. Okay, please pay attention to this because next time you watch it, you're gonna have a great laugh about this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a moment where they do a match cut between Brad walking into the door and then on the other side of the door. And on that match cut, if you say the line, hear me and say this line next time you watch the movie, okay? If you say, Brad, can you show me how a butterfly masturbates? He will immediately pick his coat up and go like that. And it's super funny. It's super funny. It makes the whole thing worth it. Okay? So it's good. And basically what I'm saying is it's great and it's good. So, how do we proceed? I guess I have to give takes, right?
So I can give more takes.
What's your take?
Well, so I think my biggest
Is
take,
it excrement?
I don't know. Is that like I think that there's the interesting dichotomy between Frankenfurter being like a shit heel rapist
True.
who only exists to gratify himself, and he does so at the expense of others. And
Bingo.
He genuinely just kind of ruins people's lives. So like people in his orbit, he just ruins their lives. So like
Because he's horny.
yeah, like
He's
Meatloaf, like
Austin Powers is horny
Yeah.
for a pussy.
like it's like Meatloaf, the blonde dude. What's the chick that's around? It's not Magenta.
Yes.
I can't remember her name. But anyway, so like he genuinely like ruins all of their lives because he's just a piece of shit. But I also think
Columbia.
there's this part of it where he's also the like sexual liberator, right? Where as much of a piece of shit as he is also like being like, hey, you don't like you can be queer, like.
Sure.
So I think there's like the double-edged sword of like Frankenfurter as like the liberator of like, hey, if you want like live the lifestyle you want to live, like you're not beholden to like the sexual confines of Denton, Texas.
Right, exactly.
Right, but at the same time,
you can still be a piece of shit
but at the same
while
time,
doing that.
Well, but as being he is both that character, and at the same exact time, he is getting belligerently angry at people taking that wisdom he has bestowed upon them and using it not on him. So
Right.
when Janet has sex with what's his face.
So basically what you're saying is he's grooming young straight people into being gay.
I think that's one interpretation.
I feel
think
like
another interpretation.
Matt Walsh would have some opinions on
Well,
this.
but I think a better interpretation is he is arming them with the knowledge that they can break free of their sexual molds, because Janet rejects the call to gay, but embraces the call to
sexual liberation.
To sexual liberation, whereas Brad embraces the call to gay because he is a closeted gay man who was marrying Janet out of social expectations.
Yes. Well, so understand that there are a couple things going on here that are, and I'm going to say this just off the top. They are what they call problematic ideas, okay? Problematic ideas, we can agree. So, because of that, I get to be exempt from anybody being mad at
Cindy.
I get to be exempt from anything that people are going to throw at me for saying what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, this movie is about stereotypes within the community,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And how those stereotypes are built.
Right.
So, there's, I feel like Rocky is a trans woman. Hot take. Rocky is a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky's not into Frankenfurter because Frankenfurter's fine with being a dude in women's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
However, Janet, he's like all about it, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, still clearly a beauty.
Right.
A doll, after all.
Mm-hmm.
Brad is fucking gay.
Yes.
Clearly. It's beyond me. Help me, mommy.
Yes.
He's gay. So, but Janet, okay, there is a term in the gay community, and I'm not going to call it a great term, and if I get canceled for it, that's fine. Don't get, it's just a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing that exists, and I've experienced it, and I know it's real. So here comes the word, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, and I'm super sorry, but she is what they call a fag hag. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
What that means is she is a cis woman who is not a lesbian, but finds gay liberation sexy and great,
mm-hmm.
and wants to be that while never actually feeling like she is that. So she instead hangs out with a lot of gay people, is empowered by gay people, but uses it to just basically fuel her own sexual liberation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, in my onion, what that term means.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as it's problematic,
we need
and
to find
it's
a
not
less
okay,
problematic term for that.
There's gotta be, but we're gonna go with that one because that's my favorite. So, no, but I know everybody's mad at me. It's fine. You can be mad at me, but it is a thing. And I think the movie is the only movie I've ever seen actually depict this.
Right.
And that therein lies the entire point of the movie and why it has value. Because it is putting voice to things that exist. Did you just break my shit?
I didn't break your shit. I knocked it over.
So, this is putting voice to something that has never really been depicted on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So the code times, we talk about the code times, the Hays Code.
Yes.
No sexual deviation whatsoever.
No.
So because of that, even though these things have been things for a long as fuck time, they have not been allowed to be things.
Mm-hmm.
until now,
Mm-hmm.
where they can actually be put to voice, and that makes the movie valuable in that it does that.
Right.
It is a piece of gay history.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another one of those dichotomies that you hear about,
Right.
where, I said that there's the live show version and then there's you watch the movie. They're very
Right.
different experiences. The same is true for like watching this movie as a straight person and watching this movie as a gay person. Because if you watch it as a straight person, you're like, wow, everybody's wild in this movie. But if you watch it as a gay person, you're like, I know exactly what that stereotype is. I know exactly what that stereotype is. I know exactly. And they're trying to get all those stereotypes in the same room and make them fuck.
Right.
Which is very funny and also very revealing. However, I feel like if anyone on Earth is allowed to watch Rocky Horror and be like, damn, I don't fucking know about that one, Jay, it's May.
Right.
May is allowed to do that. So I feel very critical of the movie because within the confines of it is a gay movie for gay people, I understand that there is the dichotomy between it is an important piece of history and it is also it is a piece of art. So I acknowledge its value as a historical piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I can begin criticizing the shit out of it as a work of filmic art. But before we do that,
May,
what?
Have you ever sat around with 3 to 4 of your friends and thought, gee, wouldn't it be cool if we were all killing monsters in a using dice in a shared imagination?
Sure, I've had sex. What? What's your point?
Well, if you've had sex, you would and will like #iHunt.
We would like it to be known off the top that #iHunt is a product tailor-made for people who fuck. It's people who fuck nasty.
Listen.
Now, as I've mentioned prior, the Burzum RPG, the Varg RPG,
sucks.
is for people who do not fuck.
Listen.
D&D, by the way, is for people who don't fuck.
No. See, because with the Varg RPG, you have to memorize all these fucking like conditions. So you
can't fuck and also memorize that shit.
No, because you have to be like, well, am I in mild water or am I in rough water? Is the wind mild, medium, or heavy?
Why do you know so much about this?
I read it. Because if the wind is mild and the waters are heavy, then that's a -4 to swim. And you have
my waters are getting mighty heavy. I might have to play some #iHunt so that I can
so
free myself from my heavy waters.
Don't fuck with Varg's weird shit.
No.
Don't fuck with #iHunt. Be a good anti-fascist and play #iHunt.
Yeah, so that you can fuck and come.
Everywhere.
They're gonna love this ad, by the way.
While you're fucking and coming, presumably you want to do that in your bedroom.
And you want your bedroom to be a nice fuck zone.
No offense if you're into exhibitionism. If you like doing it in your car or a park, hell
cool,
yeah.
Fine. I don't mind.
Just fucking go to town.
But there's nothing like fucking in the comfort of your bedroom.
In your own bedroom.
I agree. I completely agree.
Have you ever gone to someone's bedroom, like, ready to go, and you walk in, and it's just barren walls everywhere?
Yeah,
and you're like,
it's difficult. You're like, I don't know if I can do this.
So
I didn't know you lived like this.
Have populated walls.
Yeah.
Have some art on your walls, and you should get that art.
Yes.
At Ambient Dream Studios.
Yeah, and Ambient Dream Studios is let me tell you, it's art that was made with the express intention of helping you fuck at home. If you're having trouble fucking at home, it's probably because of those white walls. And if you want to put some images in your bedroom that will make you horny for a pussy, might I recommend Ambient Dream Studios? And make sure and pick that up at your local Etsy store.
Can I be honest with you?
No.
Okay.
Wait, why? What?
So
what
Varg's RPG.
Yes. Are we back?
Isn't the most problematic RPG I've ever read.
It gets worse?
It gets worse. I have read. So for Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition, they have the Book of Erotic Fantasy. Which is which is a book you can buy. That's how to add all sorts of sexual elements to Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons.
fucking for sex?
Okay, but because people who play 3.5 are
Yes.
deranged nerds, I play Pathfinder, so like I'm making fun of myself, but people who play that style of Dungeons and Dragons is unhinged.
Okay.
They have an exhaustive. If you want to be a fuck wizard, they have a class for fuck wizards. If you,
You know,
want
I'm
to
gonna be real with you, Chief. I really
I-
want to be a fuck
if you-
wizard
okay,
now.
well, I'm scratching the surface. Wait
All
till we
right,
get
I'm
a
listening.
little.
I'm listening.
See, but the
Can you be a
problem-
fuck goblin?
You can be the fuck
Ah!
goblin. But the problem with fuck wizards, right? The problem that every sweaty grognard of a man who's bought the book of erotic fantasy has is how do you be a fuck wizard when no one wants to fuck you?
This
right?
is a challenge. Do you have to Frankenfurter it? Do you have to go into people's bedrooms and fuck them in the night?
Well, see, with Frankenfurter, he wasn't using magic to control their minds.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, that's
In
fine.
The
that's
book of
fine. I
erotic
agree.
fantasy, there's all these ways that you can rape people.
All right.
Yeah.
Fucking fiery.
It's a bad book.
Yeah, so
it's
basically
a
what
really
we're saying
bad
is
book.
what we're trying to say here is that you should support our sponsors who are very good people who fuck hard all the time and every day and not support those pussy not getting fuck wizards. And also you should pick up my book Fluids. It's called Fluids because it's about jism.
It's about jism.
It's literally about it. That's literally the whole point. No. This is funny jokes, though. Isn't this funny jokes? No, Fluids is a book that was written for people who fuck. People who fucking come can read Fluids and they'll ejaculate.
If I could go back and stop myself from reading the book of erotic fantasy, I would. It was a mistake.
I don't know why you did that.
Because I was like,
I
what
was
the
busy-
fuck is in this?
I was busy reading Jane Eyre, but I mean, okay.
Anyway,
So have we run out of sponsors?
that
That was it, right?
go to patreon.com/excrement. Give me some money, and I will buy every copy of the Book of Erotic Fantasy and
If you
light it
can-
on fire.
If you continue giving us money, we will continue to make these horrible jokes.
Yes.
With that, let's talk about how Rocky Horror Picture Show is a piece of dog shit from a dog's ass. Okay, that's a joke. It's a great movie if you're a rapist. Okay, that's a joke. It's a good movie.
Remember that one bitch
For
that,
someone.
that you dated at one point who was like really into this movie?
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I don't remember because I dated a bunch of bitches who were into this movie, dude.
Specifically the one with the sparrow tattoos.
I do remember that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought about her once,
Problematically into
upon
that
a time.
movie.
Yeah, a little bit into it. Yeah. So, okay. So, consent violations aside, I mean, I feel like that's one big thing that anybody who's got a brain could watch Rocky Horror and immediately be like, you know what? I think we should talk about this is how this movie violates the shit out of consent all over the place,
Constantly. Frankenfurter does not give a piss or a shit about consent.
No, he doesn't. It is beyond me. Help me, mommy. So I'll be good. You'll see. Here it comes again. All right. So the music is banging. Everybody loves the music.
Mhm.
Can't complain about that. Everybody wants to do the time warp, especially naked.
Speaking of doing the time warp, I was at the New York Aquarium, and they were doing a seal show where the seals are swimming around and doing tricks and shit.
Were they doing the time warp?
They had a bit where the seals did the time warp, and
That's
I
fucking.
was like, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck?
Because I was
Well,
listening.
dolphins do rape.
A
lot.
but no, seals don't.
Oh,
Don't.
seals.
Seals.
Seals don't rape. I'm sorry, seals. I didn't mean to
I was
slander your
listening
people.
to King Gizzard's acid jazz music
Yes.
while watching seals, which is a magical experience.
I believe you.
And then they started playing the time warp, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's just a jump to the left.
No, but they literally it's just a jump to the left, and the seals would
Jump to the left.
yeah,
Would they then step to the right?
dude.
Would they
schmooze to
put
the
their
right.
hands on their hips?
They would.
Would they
go-
put their knees in tight?
I don't
Would
know.
they give a pelvic thrust?
So I think
That really drives you insane.
there's some parts of that song
Would
where,
they do the time warp
where
again?
seals physically cannot time warp, but they sure did their best.
They did their best. Okay, so I've been like really going hard on the rape thing because the movie is very literally that, and you can't avoid it. And so I feel like the best way to break that conversation is just to be open about that. That is an element of the film.
Well, yeah, and like trying to to understand it, like process it, is I was like, do I interpret like after everyone gets out of their statue and like what happens with that? Is that because they've been groomed or because they've been liberated?
Right.
And I think that's a pretty like pivotal question you got to ask yourself.
Well, as Milo Yiannopoulos once said. Okay, hold on. That's very funny.
Yeah, it's funny because
it is
my boy is
true.
back on Twitter.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I hate the world. Elon, what did you do?
Anyway, unban every suspended account.
Okay, great. Good job. Great. Fantastic. Just so that he can ban them. We're saying the literal same things 5 minutes from right now. No. So, I mean, okay, this is a thing where a lot of people have talked about this, where a lot of people, the first time that they experience being gay, it happens in a way where they are not prepared. I think that is what they are trying to put voice to. They're trying to say that if a hot transvestite came into your room and gave you a blowy, would you stop them or would you fearfully accept?
Right.
I understand a lot of people have experienced that. I definitely did. Like, my first gay experience was not the most consensual, but at the end of it, I did make a lot of real awarenesses of myself. So that's a significant point. Someone is asking, was the movie made by gay people? And I believe that Richard O'Brien is gay. He is Riff Raff, the gayest character. Google's, is Richard O'Brien is gay?
Is Richard O'Brien gay?
Yeah. So a lot of questions come down to whether or not Richard O'Brien is cool with what happens on screen. Like, is it him going, this is just a fucking element of being gay, therefore it's fine? Or is he saying that it's actually bad, that that's the way it is? So because of this, like, conversation between whether or not that's the situation, a lot of gay people have had a hard time trying to parse out whether or not Rocky Horror Picture Show is for gay people or if it's for straight people.
He was in Phineas and Ferb.
I want to die.
He's the stepdad.
Why do I give a shit about that?
I don't know. All right,
he also said that trans women are disgusting.
Well, in a 2009 interview, O'Brien spoke about an ongoing struggle to reconcile cultural gender roles and described himself as transgender or of a third gender. O'Brien stated there's a continuum between male and female. Some are hardwired one way or another. I'm in between. So I think, he states he sees himself as 70% male, 30% female.
We have ourselves a very non-binary, hateful prick. Turns out, hey, listen, non-binary representation, non-binary people, it turns out, can be hateful pricks. And isn't that great for them? Great. No.
Well, so he tried to walk that back by offering sympathy, and then he just said some true scum shit. So
there you fucking go. I cannot say I'm surprised. The thing is, why are we asking him? He's old and stupid.
Yes,
he made Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, he made Rocky Horror Picture Show. Why do we give a fuck what he thinks?
I think
but
some point,
anyway,
when you ask an 80-year-old and they have like the worst takes about trans people possible, you just like, okay, well, why are you asking an 80-year-old?
Exactly. Well, I feel like he is due for a swift meeting with death soon.
Probably.
I believe that any moment now we're going to get a thing hit our Twitter feed that's like, Richard O'Brien found dead in a hospital from old age, which would be probably accept. I actually feel like Tim Curry might not be with us for very much longer. I think everybody in that movie is ridiculously old now.
No, and I want to say
I met Magenta once. She's pretty old.
Tim Curry killed it.
Killed,
in my opinion.
Killed what? My boner?
I
What did Tim Curry kill? I will agree that Tim Curry is the most flamboyant straight person I've ever seen, but I definitely would not say that Tim Curry. I don't know. I think Tim Curry's performance is good, but I mean Essential. I can't think of anyone else in that role. And matter of fact, I've seen plenty of people try to be that and fail miserably. So I agree. I know all about that. However, when it comes to like.
Did you know Tim Curry was Palpatine in Star Wars Clone Wars?
I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to be around anymore. There's too much shit on me.
Can you just imagine, like, Darth Sidious and, like, Frankenfurter I'm sorry. I'm going to move on now.
Smash my pussy. Do it.
Let's do the time warp again. So, I think that, So there's a lot of there's a ton of American Gothic imagery, and I was doing some research on American Gothic and shit, but I think it's just I've yet to figure out why the film is very, very obsessed with American Gothic, because like the laser beam is in a pitchfork, and so when they come in and he's holding the laser beam, that's also a reference to American Gothic. Riff Raff, there's a scene where he stands in front of the actual painting American Gothic.
Yeah.
So
the American Gothic is what?
Well,
if we're talking about, I know what it is. I mean,
right,
but what does it mean?
So I think it's trying to encapture the soul of the Midwest. So if I remember correctly, in the research I did, it was about it's a portrait of people who are in mourning. And it's a father and his daughter.
What?
Yeah.
This is news.
Yes.
I went to art school. This is news to me.
Yeah. So that's his daughter next to him, and not his wife. But I think it's a portrait of I think there's a reason Midwest music, punk music, alternative music has this sound it does, because the Midwest is kind of it's flat. There's nothing. You grow corn. That's your life. And I think there's an element of there's this intrinsic sorrow in that, and I think that's what American Gothic is trying to represent, is the intrinsic sorrow in the soul of the American Midwest. And that's and maybe I'm reading way too into this.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think
also no, you're not. I mean, it is that.
So
it is that.
There's this
the soul of America.
Right. Well, and specifically that part of America.
Sure.
And so I think the reason I call them Reagan is because I think that soulless hollowness in the heart of the Midwest conservative is what condemned the queer people to suffer the AIDS epidemic like they did, because this soulless apathy was oh, well, I'm not queer, so they can all die.
Doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Well, and another element of the movie is that there is a part in the film where Frankenfurter is wearing a star.
Yes.
Which is meant to represent.
Yes. Well, I think it's not the triangle.
Oh yeah, it's the triangle. It's the triangle, which is
meant
to represent what
Holocaust
the Nazis labeled gay people as, so that they could kill them.
Yeah, it's on his lab coat.
Yeah. So the fact. Okay, so Dr. Scott is meant to be the big straight guy, and Dr. Scott, is also meant to represent in a lot of ways fascism.
Right.
Which is weird because he's not that bad of a dude in the movie, really, when it comes down to it, but he's still meant to represent the constant underlying, you have straight friends, you bring your straight friends around gay people, their parents are fucking Nazis who fucking want to kill them.
Right.
And whenever their parents get involved in a situation involving gay people, they always make the worst possible assumptions, and they start judging the character of the gay person who's experiencing their liberation.
Mm-hmm.
So that is understood.
Right.
But at the same time, the movie is there's this old joke in Ukraine that goes, It's the Zizek joke that goes. So there's a guy and his wife, and they're walking along. And then a guy comes up on horseback and is like, "I'd like to rape your wife." And the guy's like, "No, don't do that." And the woman's like, "No, don't do that." And the guy's like, "I'm going to do it anyway." And then he begins to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy is like, not gonna. He's so shocked he doesn't know what to do about it, and he's also passive and flaccid, and he has nothing to do to protect his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy who's raping her turns and says, "Can you hold my balls? It's very dusty here." And the guy goes, "Sure, I'll take care of it for you." So he does that. The guy finishes up and rides off on horseback, and then the man starts laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman's like, "Why are you laughing? This absolutely horrible thing just happened to me." And he says, he wanted me to hold his balls so they didn't get dusty, but I didn't hold them. I lied. He got dust on his balls. Ha ha ha, I got him.
Yeah.
And that is kind of what they do at the end of this,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Because they're like, we took the Nazi doctor and we made him gay.
Right.
We made him put on the nylon. Look at him doing the "I'm gonna
He's
live
doing
for the
the
thrill"
leg
whoa thing.
Wait,
And
that's the wrong leg. I gotta get on camera.
for the thrill, that thing.
Yeah.
That is, in my opinion, kind of them just getting dust on his balls,
Yeah.
if that makes
A
sense.
little bit.
Comes across like that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you met Slavoj Žižek at Target.
I feel like that's the best place to meet him.
It's the
he's,
essential
like,
place to meet him.
holding the Target blueberry muffins.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he's like, the ideology of the muffins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But equally important.
Where's Cindy? There Cindy is. Get over here, bitch. Cindy, get over here. Cindy, you bitch. Get over here.
I just really feel like they tertiarily bring up this underlying constant problem that
yeah,
exists for
they
gay
don't-
people,
They didn't really.
but they don't really do it. And so like I feel like the movie's got its priorities in the wrong places.
Yeah.
That's my like biggest criticism of the movie. It treats gay people like they're aliens. It treats straight people like they're they would like being gay if they just saw the experience, if they just felt the experience.
If a transvestite just sucked them up, they would be gay as shit.
Exactly. Which is only true of the person harassing us earlier.
Which is only true of Mike Pence and
Also
and
very true of Mike Pence. We know for a fact that Mike Pence has sucked a dick.
I bet he's good at it.
He might currently be sucking a dick.
I would pay so much money for a Mike Pence blowjob. I bet he's just like, I bet his tongue game is impeccable.
Impeccable. Fantastic.
Impeccable.
He perfected that shit before he went to conversion therapy.
You think
by
Trump
choice.
was ever like
Damn, today's stressful. Why don't you get in here?
Stressful.
Come
Send
on.
in his secretary. Mike
Send
Pence
in
is
Mike
like,
Pence.
It's like, no, sir. I got you, sir.
I got you, man. Yeah, no, big fucking. I believe the shit out of that. But anyway, so points all made.
Mike Pence walks away and he has like this spray tan orange all around his lips.
Yes. Very funny. But regardless, we're getting dust on their balls. They fucking ruined our lives for a
Yes.
while. But either way, I just feel like they don't actually really get into the important issues that matter, but they do talk about the gay experience in ways that no other film ever really did and didn't really do after either, which is like, in a lot of ways, it is talking about like straight people oogling the gay experience and either finding out that they adopt it or they think that it's fun and cool and they want to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And either one of those kind of sucks. So, like, I think that I appreciate the shit out of that fact, but more than anything, I think that the movie struggles to articulate itself well, and because of that, a lot of goths who are edgy assholes think that going to Rocky Horror is very fun because they get to sing the Sweet Transvestite song and hang out with their gay friends and see people take their clothes off and see people make orgasm sounds with their mouth. And it doesn't have an awful lot to do with anything of actual impact.
Right.
And that's a shame.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much everything I have to say about Rocky
Yeah.
Horror Picture Show.
I think that's about everything. All my takes.
It's a fairly
there.
regular watch for me,
Mhm.
mostly because like I find this confliction in the movie almost more valuable than anything the film's attempting.
Right.
So like, because it is accidentally personifying a perspective in a way that nothing else really does for the same purposes. I think that the question, like, and I do believe it's nuanced, where it's like it's demonstrating that Frankenfurter is a monster and a bastard, but it's also demonstrating that Frankenfurter is a tortured person
Right.
who, has lived through some of the worst times to be who he is in history,
Mm-hmm.
knows that his time on Earth is going to be short, but doesn't realize that he's going to be killed by his own people for being too much of a fuck.
Right.
So really, it's a movie about how a lot of people, because of the threat of fascism within the gay community, respond to that by being like almost monstrously hedonistic to the point that it damages their ability to have actual relationships.
Right.
And so it's almost like, the Nazis sure actually did kill us because they kill our ability to have normal lives in any sort of sense.
Right.
And that's my charitable take. If I could put that out there. I feel like that is the charitable take. This podcast has been dirty and nasty.
Yeah.
So, because it's been so dirty and nasty, and we've had nothing but bangers, we are going to impose mods in the future. I think somebody who can take care of chat for us, because it's hard to do this and also take care of somebody who wants to gas me for being a gay lord.
Right.
God
bless.
God bless.
I just can't imagine the like depths of like having nothing better to do with your life than like searching. It's like, I'm going to go through the trans tag on Twitch and harass people.
They want to get dust on our balls. Because we're currently winning this war. Because we have
my balls are so dusty you can't comprehend.
Yeah, I know. I'm already pretty peeved. But regardless of it being a shitty podcast that's gay and for gay lords and gay ladies and gay thems and theys. Theybies. The last question to throw out there is gold, mid, or shit Rocky Horror Picture Show. The moment where nuance dies for us.
The moment where nuance dies. I'm gonna say gold.
You're gonna say gold?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give you $500 for just simply being open and about liking the movie.
Yeah. Well,
I think
so as I said before, there's an element. There's the spirit of the movie that's leave Denton and be yourself,
which is good.
That at least, so like if you ask me again in a year or 5 years, my answer will inevitably change. But as it stands right now, where I'm at right now with my life, I think that vibe kind of covers up a lot of the negative aspects that we've been talking about. So
sure.
I actually did cry when they like got to the gay house, because it's like they left it.
Aww.
So like, yeah.
There's a light.
Yeah.
Over at the Frankenstein place.
So
there's no phones. Don't have assholes.
No.
Or I mean, wait. No, castles don't have phones. No. Asshole. Sorry. That was called a Freudian. Anyway.
But yeah. So
phones don't have castles.
So I recognize my opinion is wrong, but it's my opinion.
I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong. I'm saying that it's almost like willingness to be like, I will engage with this. Like, well, I'm not fucked to engage with this.
It's like how I constantly engage with Canadian bacon and like Bamboozled someone in our Discord to watch it.
There are no phones in Castle Land, asshole. Yeah, no, but no, that's phones don't have assholes. That's gonna be the fucking meme of the episode.
Put that.
People are gonna
on
be like,
my
phones don't have
grave.
assholes, and that's gonna
Did
be.
you know that in the newest Pokemon game, there's an unused asset that's just a butthole?
Is there an
unused butthole asset?
That's fantastic. Personally, I think the Pokemon
Just
should be able to shit.
Slap that on a phone and call it a day, memers.
I big agree. I big fucking agree. Absolutely, I agree. Thank God, finally, Pokemon can fuck. So anyway, this is fun. Gold, mid, or shit for me. I'm gonna go mid.
Mid, yeah.
I feel like going mid is me being safe about my image. It's me trying to protect the image of you that or image of me that you possess. Where you're over there thinking May is, generally a good person,
Well,
doesn't say anything wrong.
No, you can call it shit if that's what you think.
I don't want to go shit
Okay.
because while I will say that there are shit things about the movie, I think that the movie also has an importance that it goes beyond
So,
a lot of that.
I think it's if someone is like, I really like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Sure.
And you say, oh, well, what do you like about it? And they say, well, I love Dr. Frankenfurter. Then you can be like, oh, this person has shitty dog shit
It's
taste.
almost like a litmus test
Yes,
for the way
exactly.
that people view
It's like
us.
if someone's like, hey, I'm watching Chainsaw Man and Makima's my favorite character, just take him out in the woods and leave him there.
Well, okay, before Caitlyn Jenner happened, coming out as transgender meant a lot of people were like fucking Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror? Oh no! And thank God Caitlyn came in to replace that.
Yeah.
Thank God. My mom, when I came out to her fucking years and years ago, her first thing was just like Caitlyn Jenner.
Well,
so thank God I got that and not the other thing.
Not
but
to be a dick to your mom.
You can be a dick to my mom. My
But-
mom kind of sucks.
But speaking of fag hags, your mom,
Bingo.
May's mother, ladies and gentlemen, just
Oof, is she that? Anyway, yeah. So, my besties, my friends at home, my lords and saviors, thank you for coming to the podcast today. Thank you for watching Your Take is Excrement. I have to go skate with my girlfriend.
hell yeah.
We're gonna have a great time.
I'm gonna watch Jodorowsky with my girlfriend.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be a great night for
It
both
is
of
gonna
us.
be a great night.
Yeah. Well, and also I am planning on gassing myself, as that person suggested, because I'm gonna fart hotbox a car like hell. Anyway, no, it's been fun. Roller skate, come on. Anyway,
Come on.
yeah, no. So banger podcast. I think we should pat ourselves on the back for this one. We survived.
Yeah.
Next week we will die on camera.
Oh hell yeah. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
wait.
the whole thing for next week.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. I think we're gonna watch Lars von Trier films
Ugh,
or some shit.
You know, I know I threw it out there an hour ago. Maybe we do that later on in the season.
Oh, after you've grown strong.
I don't know if I'll ever grow strong enough for more Lars von Trier, but
Dip a toe in. Watch The House That Jack Built.
okay.
All right.
Um,
What do y'all think at home? I'm allowed to do the joke twice. Come on. It was a good
Yeah.
joke. I got to do it twice. A joke so good, she did it twice. Okay. Well, we'll see you next week when we shit our pants and run screaming from a moving car.
Oh boy, Cindy, what are you doing back there?
She's fucking having a blast there
Having
with my merch.
a normal one.
Yeah.
Listen, right now, if you order Nick Spheres merch, you can get some cat hair on it. Look at Cindy go.
Oh, great. Everyone's going to fucking love that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Cindy,
so that is actually very annoying if you could
Yes.
give that a fucking rest. Anyway, yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.